And welcome back to another episode of Talking Franchise, the DC Extended Universe.
Yeah, I just learned that they're the DCEU. I've been saying the DCEU Extended Universe. Ooh, but yes, we're here today to talk about the first movie that kicked it off, Man of Steel. We got Justice League coming out this week. We'll have a review up for you guys once we see it. It's on Thursday, Friday night. I don't have high hopes for it, but let's go into the reasons why we don't have high hopes. Let's
Right now.
The movie that kicks off this was supposed to be DC's Iron Man. This is going to kick it all off. They're going to introduce a whole bunch of characters. This movie has flaws, but overall, it's still a good movie. It's shaky. It's on shaky. They build a shaky foundation right off the bat. But this movie delivers an action where Superman Returns did not. Superman Returns, he didn't throw a fucking punch. He didn't throw one.
There's only one thing good about Superman Returns.
What's that? Kevin Spacey?
That's Kevin Spacey. Even though he likes little boys. Alright. So, I'm going to give a brief synopsis of the movie. After the utter destruction of the planet called Krypton, only a little baby boy, is sent in outer space into Earth, and he survives. Once he gets to Earth, its atmosphere changes his whole genetic structure, and he becomes a super enhanced, a super enhanced with super abilities. So he has to deal with that as he's a little kid. He learns how to control and own his own powers. And then he becomes
a mopey little bitch.
A mopey little Superman who has to stop Zod from destroying the whole entire planet.
There's a couple of things that they get wrong.
That's the synopsis of the whole movie.
There's a couple of things that they get wrong with the characters, I feel. Especially Jonathan Kent. I love Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner.
The casting of this was great.
The cast is great. It's just the writing, not so much. I feel like Kevin Costner. He's great he's a great actor. He looks the part, but some of the choices that they made, it's a little off. Love it or leave it. You got Amy Adams as fucking Lois Lane, which I remember there was people bitching when they first hired her because her hair, she's not brunette, her hair's not black and shit, and it works. Whatever, Lois Lane, she can have whatever hair she wants. Superman though, Henry Cavill, perfect casting. He looks the part, but the problem with Man of Steel is that it's just, they made it so dark. Superman's supposed to be this uplifting, happy fucking character.
Christopher Reeves in red and blue tights.
And no, this whole movie, the movie starts off with him fucking, just, he's in the shadows now. He's grown a big-ass beard, and he's working on boats.
The movie actually starts off with, them on Krypton.
Oh yeah,
Krypton gets destroyed. You get that whole scenario. You know what I say about this movie? It's that it's too back and forth. It's not steady. So you don't some people watching it will get lost. Yeah, flashbacks. Some people will get lost in the film. Yeah. Well, I think they would have benefited from doing the prologue would have been more, so they could have taught you what Krypton is.
I was going to say, a part that does work in the movie, and the opening sequence is one of the most interesting parts of that movie, and you kind of wish you got to see more. You probably could have made a whole movie just about Krypton without Superman if you really wanted to get to that.
I would say that part too. It had me a little lost. Like I was watching it as. With eyes is I don't know what's going on. I don't know who Krypton is. I don't know who Jor-El is. I don't know who Kal-El is. And they don't do a good job in bringing that to you. They just throw you into it, expecting everybody to know what's going on, what planet this is, who this person is, what's going on. And they tell like with the dialogue, but I would have preferred if like they had like a prologue, broke you into it, then they showed the destruction of Krypton in that whole scene.
No. That scene,
it was good though.
It's a long, it's a long sequence. It's almost like a 16, 17-minute sequence before we even get the title at all. Then it's Man of Steel. What we're getting into.
Yeah, if you would have seen it, you probably wouldn't even know what movie it was. You were like, well,
you need to.
What movie is
the people that have seen, everyone knows the story of Superman. And
not everybody.
They had. This is the first. We've seen it in multiple TV shows and stuff, but this is the first time I think that you actually got to see the destruction on film. And great casting. Russell Crowe works. Hey, again, great actor. And no, that's interesting. That's interesting. I feel like they put a lot of ideas and a lot of thoughts into that. Where, like I said, they could have had a full fleshed out movie.
Messages.
It was definitely good, and then you got the introduction of Zod, played by Michael Shannon. Also, another great actor. You always see him in a lot of smaller roles or independent movies. He doesn't do a whole lot of mainstream movies, but the movies that he is in, Michael Shannon does a great job. Yeah, as always.
So from this first scene, Krypton is already being destroyed because they already used all their natural resources. That's what we learned from the dialogue. They destroyed it basically, and their whole civilization is different. No one is born by natural birth, so that leaves Kal-El as the first baby born of natural birth since I don't know when. Since they had the growth codex, that's what they call it, and they have like these pods where people are growing up, and they're like
those pods though look like penises. Those pods, it's the balls of the shot. Those pods,
like Matrix. It was like the Matrix, but like they're definitely like
in flying dicks.
Flying dicks,
made of steel. But anyways, go on.
So, like you said, Michael Shannon's character Zod. He is planning to overthrow the government that's in charge of Krypton, and then he kills the whole council. He goes on a rampage, kills the council, tries to stop Jor-El from getting the codex. That's what he wanted. He got that thing that has a whole DNA, all the information of all their people and all their civilization. And then he goes to stop him, Zod. They have a battle. A big old battle, boom, 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 real crazy scene. It was a real good scene. It was like
some punches were actually thrown.
John Carter? No.
It took some. It took an hour and a half in Superman Returns to have some fighting. This they gave you. It was all spectacle. The visual effects were great.
It started off with
I loved it, but then right after that sequence and sending Kal-El off to Earth, the movie does slow down quite a bit.
Wait, we're beginning about the penises. Look at those pods that they get trapped in when they the rest of the council
and they're getting
survive.
sent to the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, Zod. All of them shoot up in the air, and they all look like giant penises.
Yes,
it's disgusting and crazy. So then you get the cutscene that they go into the onto Earth, where the little baby pod lands on Earth on a farm with these two farmers, Martha and Jonathan Kent. So they raise the little kid. He has these powers. We see a scene where he's at school and he's hearing all the everything's louder and he's freaking out.
The world's too big, Mom.
He's in the closet crying his eyes out,
and then he comes out of the closet.
Because he really is. At the end of the day, he really is a weirdo because he has these superpowers. He doesn't even. So eventually, I guess he learns how to use his power.
So they're hitting familiar beats because if you've watched Superman and Smallville, all the TV shows, we're seeing familiar beats as him as a kid. But what what I didn't like is they're trying to set they try to make Superman this dark, gritty thing. They were like, this was because Christopher Nolan produced this. This was when he was going to be foreseeing the franchise, and he jumped right off the fucking boat after this. He was like, well, what if Superman came down to Earth, but it was really our Earth? They wanted a realistic situation. They wanted to make it brooding with darkness. He's not a dark character. Superman is not a dark character, and he mopes around for far too long in this movie. And then Jonathan Kent. This is the scene that bothers me. Is when the kids see Clark's strengths.
Oh, when he saved the bus?
He saved the bus. And then Jonathan's mad that he saved all the kids. And he's like, what was I supposed to do? Just let him die? And he's like, yeah. He said, I don't know, maybe. Jonathan Kent would not say that. Like, he was always protective, but he wouldn't.
That part of the film I didn't understand. I understand from a point because he was like, oh, as soon as he finds out the government's going to be all on this, they're not going to leave him alone. He's going to have to deal with all this. He was trying to save him from that part of the becoming a hero, that part of revealing that he's a... And he was like, I guess, also for the whole world, because once you do that, everybody's going to be like, oh, shit. There are people that live in outer space. There's actual aliens, a.k.a. we can call gods, lowercase. And he was trying to save him from that.
I love Kevin Costner, but the way they wrote him, it doesn't work. And the reason why they keep going throughout the film flashbacks, the reason why Superman has been in hiding and just moping around this whole time is because of the death of his father, Jonathan. And he could have been saved. And that Twister, I gotta go save the dog. So
I think that he was already like a little mopey. I don't think I think that catapulted him into he made him into wanting to save people.
They get into an argument while they're in the car, and then a tornado busts out, and they need to get everyone to safety, and the dog's left in the car, so Jonathan goes off to go save him, and Clark could have easily done this. He's like, no, protect your mother.
3 seconds.
They try to make this a dramatic moment. You got it all in slow motion and in silence. He could go, Superman, faster than a speeding bullet, could run, no one's even going to see him, snatch Jonathan back up and put him in there. Kevin Costner raises his hand. He's like, no.
Talk to the hand, son.
No, don't save me.
First of all, when I first saw this, I got choked up. I was a little bit sad. I was like, oh no, he's really gonna let him die. He's really the story. So I got choked up, and I was like, wait a second. He could have just used 3 seconds flat. He was like, his dad was like, no. When he told his dad, go to the, I would have said, zoom. Brought the dog back, and the guy would have been.
So they try to give him a little. He
probably would have been so petty, but mad. He would have probably just ran into the tornado.
This movie is all Man of Steel is all spectacle. And I like that they delivered on the action. The visuals are great. And this is the first time you've actually ever, on screen anyways, seeing Superman fight the way that he does on screen. The action is just fast-paced and just bone-crushing moves being done. The destruction, the chaos, I like. That's Zack Snyder's style. But substance and characters and story, he's not about that.
I would say I disagree with you on that one, because I think that the movie suffers from it not being coherent, it not being not leaving people in the dark for some things, and then that constant switchback. It could have just went straight on through, and I think
the movie's a little long. Maybe they could have cut a couple of the flashbacks.
I think not cut the flashbacks. I think put the movie sequence after sequence in order without having to switch back and forth. It would have been I think it would have been better, because
it would have made the movie even slower.
I don't think so. I think
because I was going to say once you have the destruction of Krypton, we don't see another punch get thrown until like an hour and change into the movie. But there's this build up to it. It's just like the movie is a little slow paced. You're like, when's the action going to start? When's the action going to start? To their credit, the final 50 minutes of Man of Steel is nonstop action. It does not stop. They deliver, and they did. I did like how it all comes about, though, when he finally does get to throw that punch, and it's because Zod has his mother. It's pretty epic when he's like, "Don't touch my mother!" And he takes all the aggression, all of his anger that's been built up for years and years and years. They deliver on that. But the story getting there, I don't like how they introduced Lois Lane and she finds out his secret right off the bat. Yeah, this is where they're changing the
just
Superman
convenient. One. It's very convenient. And how's it convenient that him, Clark, and Lois Lane are on the same trip to go over to Fortress of Solitude? Yeah. That conveniently he was with her.
And I see what they were doing. They said they wanted to go realistic, and they were like, "She's a smart journalist, and she would be onto it right away. She's gonna know who he is." There's no back and forth like tease or like play where, oh, is he Superman or what? Like, no, she knows his secret right off the bat, and that I did not care for in the story. I honestly didn't.
At least you have a record for Lawrence Fishburne and Perry White.
Yeah, again, we can't say enough about the casting. They definitely got that down. But the movie's just too slow, and then it gets into the action. The movie is all action, no substance. But that's Zack Snyder, and you could argue that claim and say, oh, that's bullshit, but. Did we all watch Batman vs. Superman? We'll get into that in a little later. That is all style, just all action, just dark, broody, gritty. Oh,
I think that's what the DCEU is going for. They're going for a darker tone,
but it doesn't have to be. And that's.
I think it's to separate it, distinguish it from Marvel, because Marvel is.
I just think this is
cheesy.
This is this movie's main problem. Not every movie has to. No, it doesn't have to be like Marvel, because you just had Thor. Like I said, it was Thor. We loved it, but it's also super cheesy and breaking the fourth wall and very jokey. You don't have to be like that, but you can still have a good time at the movies too, and not be like, oh damn, like it was.
I liked it. I think I was emotionally invested inside the movie because of the stuff that happened. How his father died, that was that, and I wanted to see him redeem him. Once Jonathan Kent dies in the movie, I feel like I want to see him become that hero, because in a way, it was sort of like Spider-Man's, going back to Spider-Man's, how Spider-Man
tells him didn't let his uncle
great powers die, but
great responsibility.
Exactly, didn't let his uncle die, but he did let his father die for being like trying to not use his powers. But it was like for his wishes. It makes no sense because they were arguing, right? They were arguing in the car for that fact, like, oh, he should be able to use his powers to save people.
I'll just say, that's the second. And Man of Steel, like I said, Man of Steel redeems itself in that third act. The whole last sequence of action makes it worth a watch. They delivered. They definitely delivered in that.
Doing parodies of these movies, right? Yeah. Because we do a parody of the Jonathan Kent when he's like, because he stuck firm. He was firm in his word and his beliefs. It was like no bullshit. Because he was like, oh, you can't save people. And when it came to actually him being the person that he would have to save, he still was like, no, don't save me. Fuck off. Let me die.
I said, Kevin Costner doesn't have a whole lot of screen time.
Let me die.
Without those flashbacks, you don't have them in this movie at all.
Because, like, I say in real life, what happens is he's not like stop. He's like, come over here, Harry, save me, son.
Yeah, he definitely could have been saved. But character that I really liked in the movie too. This is where the the badass fight sequences start happening. What's the name of her character? Zod's
the sidekick, Zod's sidekick.
Yeah, you got two villains in the movie. You got Zod, and then pretty much his right hand woman, and I
forget what it calls it.
The fighting's ridiculous. It pretty much looks like it makes it look like it's a video game. There is a lot of CGI in the sequence. It's all CGI in these sequences, pretty much. But yeah, absolute chaos, destruction. You could say they went overboard. And with this destruction came all the product placement. They destroyed an IHOP, a Sears.
Her name is Farrell. Ooh. Something like that. It's a weird name. I can't pronounce it. That's the girl's name. But you're right. This one, like, while I was watching, I was like, damn, the collateral damage.
Like I said, yeah, no, it was epic, but that's again, that's where they're going too much into like blockbuster territory. Where I mean, it pretty much turns into a disaster movie, and they didn't need that amount of destruction. The fight with him and Zod, when ends up getting destroyed. Pretty much Krypton is completely destroyed now. Zod's gonna have no people. He comes to the conclusion where he's like, well, you just killed all of mine. He's like, I'm gonna kill all of yours. I'm gonna start with you and I'm gonna enslave the whole race. He's like, I'm gonna destroy everything. Superman is throwing him into building after building, and they're destroying a whole bunch of shit for no fucking reason.
Hello, Zod is trying to destroy the Earth. He's trying to take over Earth.
This
guy.
Clark needs to. All right, Superman needs to subdue him somehow, but not by throwing him into building after building.
He hits him. Yeah, he does. He does punch him and just like, because I guess he lets loose a little bit.
And Zod. So forget about Zod when they're using that machine to change the Earth's gravity or whatever. Mm-hmm. They're trying to turn Earth into Krypton. They killed millions of people. Millions with this thing. The destruction is completely absolute chaos.
This could destroy a lot of people. Without having to, because if he would have learned jujitsu, it would have been a whole different fight.
The destruction. I think there was too much destruction in this movie, and that to me, but they give people a reason to hate on Superman, like, oh, it's his fault that the place got destroyed. But here's the thing that gets me, and we can go back to him and Zod's fight in a second. The thing that gets me at the ending of this movie is when it's the final scene where Superman's going up to the Daily Planet. It's probably maybe 2 months after the destruction. First of all, there is no Daily Planet. The whole fucking city is destroyed. It took New Orleans how long after Hurricane Katrina to start rebuilding shit? That motherfucking city is not being rebuilt for another 100 years. It's been set back. But anyways, he's in the building ready to work his job. He puts on the glasses. She knows his secret.
The city is not destroyed.
What gets me, they would not be all right, so they're journalists, so they got to care about their work. They're there to work. Two guys come up and he's like, yo, I got tickets to the basketball game tonight. You coming? They're like, oh yeah, motherfucker, there is no more sports played. We just got... The aliens came to Earth and tried to murder us. Ain't nobody give a fuck about sports anymore. The stadium got destroyed. The stadium got blown up right at the beginning. You ain't going to no basketball game.
That shit ain't happening. Yeah, you're right. That destruction... It takes at least a year, because it took. What was it like? I was reading how long it would take for the destruction. Yeah, when I was doing the MCU timeline,
and the destruction is in the trillions of dollars. Nothing would ever. It wouldn't get rebuilt. They wouldn't be back to their happy lives. There's too much. And see, that's why I feel like the movie it's a little flawed too. Like there is the destruction. There's a reason why people should hate on Superman. He's a fucking mopey asshole in this movie. There's not a whole lot of fun moments, but like I said,
I think he's a little bit darker. It was probably a little bit of a... he doesn't really, because he was just
the choreography and the fights were great, and then people. This is what got people split on the DC universe right off the bat. Because in Superman comic books, Superman has a code that he lives up to, that he abides by. He does not kill. He does not kill. And you can say maybe, oh, it's happened once or twice in the comic books or whatever. His main thing, he does not kill. And Zack Snyder said, fuck all that shit. Fuck all that shit. He
was reluctant.
Did he have no other choice?
He had no other choice.
And pretty much, it comes down there finally here. Zod's gonna burn a family with his eyes. He said, you will have to kill me.
Think about this, John Wong. Think about this in the state of mind of, I live on Earth. What prison can hold this guy? No prison.
Kryptonite. You keep putting them crystals up his ass.
Kryptonite wasn't.
They hadn't found it yet. No,
they haven't found it. Didn't exist until
the next movie.
The next film that comes into play. But in his mind, he's about to zap. He could have just ripped his eyeballs out. He could have done something where he didn't have to kill him. But
I know. It showed how
he was already showing that. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to kill everybody. Zod was like, I'm going to kill these people right here. Watch this. This is and
they didn't.
He got to a point where
it had to get to that point because that's how they wrote it. You could have changed. The Phantom Zone didn't have to be completely destroyed. You could have sent them back. You could have stopped them in another way. And they're like, no.
But he doesn't know about the Phantom
Zone. Well, this is going to add layers to Superman. And you can look at it and see the results. If anything, him killing Zod makes him an even bigger little bitch in the next movie. Because they said Superman is supposed to be all about hope and supposed to be all about saving the people. But also, he shouldn't be he's not. This is emo Superman.
Yeah.
This is this is an alternate Superman. Henry Cavill, he works in the role, but they don't quite. They get down Superman. But they don't get when he's Clark Kent, he's the biggest fucking pussy in the world and just mopes and mopes and mopes around. And now he's extremely sad because he just killed a man, something he thought he would never ever do. And I never thought when I seen Man of Steel, I never for 1 second thought, oh yeah, he's gonna kill him. It's like, this is Superman. So it was a shocking moment. But like I said, that you can ask a whole bunch of people. This divided the audience right there when you did that. They were trying to be different. The movie is all spectacle. It is all spectacle. The story could have been better. Like I said, I would give Man of Steel, though, like I said, it's a good movie, but it's on a shaky foundation already to start with. Right. But it was still enjoyable enough. I'll give Man of Steel is a 7 out of 10.
All right.
But only because of the action was so strong and that great. What would you give Man of Steel?
I would say 7.5. I'll give it a 7.5 because I enjoy it. I'm not divided. When I go to see the films and I sit down, I don't go with no
expectations,
no pre-notions of what's gonna happen. Oh, Superman's this, Superman's supposed to be that. No. Because I've already learned from reading comics that there could be any type of Superman. So what we're seeing is a different universe of Superman. He could be brooding. This one's brooding.
Be a mopey little
Superman,
bitch.
Emo Superman from universe 657845 or whatever you want to call it. But I know with that, so I don't have any expectations. So I don't let myself get down. Like, oh, they didn't interpret the character how I wanted them to be. Right. Because this one is not like a remake of another movie. So that, when you see a movie like that you might want to expect a little bit that it grasps and reenacts what you saw in the previous film. Like, you do an interpretation that does the other one justice. But these movies, I never watched it with that.
It was a clean slate.
Like he did. He was a good Superman.
It was
a good Superman.
It came out in 2013. Critics were divided. 55% positive, and I think everyone agrees. It delivers in the spectacle story. There could have been more. And the movie could have been faster paced. It is really slow, but overall, it's not a bad start to the franchise. Mm-hmm. So what could possibly go wrong? Find out next time on Talkin' Franchise.
Oh, Jesus.